So he had no choice but to, in his mind, then to go out and do as much damage as he could, and reputationally, especially, to make everyone look bad, including his wife. Like, that was still his wife when all that happened.
Yeah, I mean, they had been, at the time, they had been broken up. They broke up on April, I think it was April 8th or whatever. He maintained this facade that she was around, she's upstairs, she's doing all this stuff. But she was, she brought her stuff to our other house shortly before that. And now she said she had sent him a message that said, hey, I'm taking all my stuff, but I want you to take a break and then come join me in a couple days, and then we can start over. We can fix this. We can move on. He wasn't, and I'm not saying that would have worked. I mean, you come home and find half your closet empty, like that you see, and then you get a text, like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But her idea, at least, was that he would come join her and they would try and patch things up. But yeah, I mean, they were still married at the time. And he had no business doing any of that, to her, to Kayla. I mean, I don't care if he did it to me. Like, it really doesn't. We're online personalities. It's going to happen, right? Like, you do what you do. But
you see, he's going to have her on the replay. He's doing like a rerun marathon next week so that his show keeps going. And the very first show Monday is April. And what was the other one? Another one of his show people, co-hosts, returns. Show and Whistly Pete, that guy.
Well, yeah, Whiskey Pete. I didn't.
But I don't understand that. Why does he want to put her back on and play these repeats of the shows? I'm just saying, like, she is private. She has, like, gone off into the distance. Doesn't want anything to do with this. But the very first thing he starts out with Monday is April, and it's like, I don't know. I just think it could be avoided. Leave her alone.
She doesn't want anything to do with anyone.
Right.
Like, she doesn't want anything to do with me, Kayla, him, whatever. Her, from what I understand, she has basically severed pretty much everyone from that portion of her life outside of her family.
Yeah.
People that I know that used to talk to her have not talked to her or anything. That's fine. I ran into her the other day. We did not speak. We very briefly made eye contact. We were passing in a store. I was with my daughter and she was with her guy. So, like, it was just, there wasn't even a hi, because, like, that, it was really awkward. But,
yeah.
Wow. Like, I saw her, she looks healthy. She looks great. She looks happy with the guy. And that's all that anyone should ever want, is that she's in a good place and being, has someone who's taking care of her, in that way. So I don't know that that's true, but I assume it is. And I hope so.
I hope so too. I really do. I just think it's not cool for him to continue to, I don't know, put her in this position when it's obvious that she wants nothing to do with anything from that time period in her life, online or otherwise.
Exactly.
That's gross.
Yeah. Leave her alone. Leave everybody alone. He keeps saying how he's moved on. He's a different person and stuff. It's like, all right, cool. Stop talking about it.
Yep.
Like that's all anybody wants. I don't want to sit and talk about it either, at all. Like, I don't want to do that. I think I've mostly said what I'm going to say, on the past. Like, there are a ton of funny stories that I would love to tell. And I think they're great and I think they're harmless, but, the other people involved want privacy in that. So the only stories I've ever told are ones that I had permission to tell from a long time ago or had already come out, stuff like that. But yes, to answer really quick questions, guys, I don't know if she remarried or not. I have no idea. I know that her boyfriend is a long-term boyfriend. And
did he flip you off?
Oh yeah, he didn't flip me off this time. Not this. But it's, it's that same guy. They've been together a long time. And if they were to, like, if they had plans to remarry now, I think it's a perfectly reasonable timeline to do so. It's not like it's short. It took me a minute to, like, remember how long it's been. But she and I, she left the relationship, I guess, in November of last year. So it's, and I don't know the exact date when she started dating this guy, but it wasn't all that long after. So, I mean, they've been together probably 10 months.
There's so much that they get wrong, but I don't understand the hostility.
Oh, I do.
Well, that's what you don't have to tell me anything, but
No,
it's
do you want me to say why
yes,
Geno
yes,
and Keanu are so mad? I know the
yes,
answer.
yes.
This is exclusive. No one's heard this. You know, when all this started, we had all agreed that everything would be private, no matter what. No matter what happened, everything would be private because that's how it should have been. We found out because Aaron confessed this at the end in April that he had disclosed portions of the relationship to various people, including Geno and Keanu.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron desperately wants to fuck Keanu, and Aaron desperately wants to fuck Chrissy Mayer. And I have a feeling that Geno desperately wanted to fuck April. And I have a feeling that Aaron used the existing relationship as a soft ad to Geno. I don't know that he did to Keanu, but as a soft ad to Geno. Say, hey, maybe, you know, like maybe you could get in on this. And then Aaron would get to fuck Keanu and Geno would get to fuck April. And I dare anyone to challenge me on that because I know for a fact. By the way, he thinks Chrissy's hotter than you, Keanu.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, he wanted to Keanu and Chrissy though. Chrissy more.
Well, that's not honestly, that's really believable. That's not a far stretch, I don't think.
They said, until this is settled, shut the up about it. Don't talk about it.
This is settled. This is long settled. It's actually over. The harassment restraining order against Ashley is gone. I'm not sure what hearing my lawyer made me look like a fool in. The only time my lawyer made me look like a fool was when I had appointed counsel in the family case, and that appointed counsel was too retarded to object when she should have objected, and did not have the case sealed immediately because that lawyer, and I know her, Dawn Weber, she has no business being in a courtroom. She didn't know the rule of completeness. She doesn't know the rules of evidence. She didn't know anything about our situation or who I am. And it was really disappointing because I've referred people to that woman in the past. And now I regret every single referral that I've ever sent her way because what she did in that courtroom was malpractice. She wouldn't say that I have a Fifth Amendment right. She said I was reluctant to answer questions. And I'm like, I have a Fifth Amendment right to not answer the question, you dumb bitch. That lawyer was garbage completely. It should never be. Now, the best part is that that lawyer and the lawyer that was appointed to Kayla, John Mueller, also an absolute trash lawyer, absolute shit. They get appointed to every single child custody case in Candy, Ohio County. Now, imagine you're not me, rich asshole lawyer. All right. Imagine you're poor Somali or poor Hispanic, English as a second language parent with no job. And those two motherfuckers are who are supposed to represent you against the government. They frequently and with no problem give children to the state, take them from their parents, and they're supposed to do the opposite. They don't do their job. They're the worst people I can think of because what they do is monstrous. They're supposed to be defending parents' rights, and what they do is they just sell them upriver. And the poor, our county has a high percentage population of Hispanic and high Black, particularly Somali population. Those people have no idea about the American legal system, and they get subjected to it through two of the worst attorneys I've ever seen. And the county is happy to appoint them because the county always wins, except when they come up against an asshole lawyer with the resources to fight. Here's the reality. According to how things were working out, Aaron shouldn't even have spent a day in jail. He talked his way in. Well, actually, you talked his way into jail.
Yep.
That was all on him. He had negotiated it out.
Yep.
You know, I didn't really I thought he should go to jail for at least a little bit because I don't think he'll actually change. But so what? Who cares what I think? I'm not involved, right? Like
Right.
that's the state. So he negotiated it out. He just couldn't keep his mouth shut. He can't do it. That's the whole thing. Like any of these programs where you are exchanging jail for some sort of liberty, you're supposed to be improving and getting rid of the things that got you to the place you're in. He can't do it. It's wild that he can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
What's wild?
he proved that he kind of can, because once he filed HRO against me, he shut his mouth. The crazy thing is he could shut his mouth about Kayla when he filed the HRO against me, but it had to involve me. Like, he couldn't do it until it was me involved. And like, I don't get that brokenness in him. I don't understand why he couldn't just keep his mouth shut from the initial thing. And then when being told, yeah, you violated this a whole bunch of times, and he got the list. He probably got the thing Kayla submitted given to him. That being said, like, he had all the information, then he just went ahead and basically did it again with the Stonies event. Like, that's someone who who is not changing and is not rehabilitating. Eventually they will put you in jail and they'll say, like, we'll try and rehabilitate you here. But that's on him. He did all that. No one did that to him. That it wasn't unfair or anything like that. He earned that because he just wouldn't stop the behavior. You know what I stopped the moment I was arrested? Drugs. Stopped him immediately. They're gone.
God forbid you hang out with your fucking kids who are probably traumatized from having a fucking battering ram go through their door with their high junky.
Should I hang out with him, or should I contribute to the trauma? Which one is it? Like, am I the worst dad ever? If I'm the worst, most abusive, horrible dad you've ever heard of, why would you want to put me next to the children? There's no consistency here. But like, again, if there's a couple things going on. If you think that I have not spent significant time reevaluating my decisions and going over them, like, you're crazy. I've had nothing but time to do that. It's taken a lot. That being said, I always had a great relationship with my kids. Always. The neglect and abuse shit was thoroughly rejected. Both by the courts, by CPS, by the investigator. They did, they had 6 months to find anything, and they found nothing. They had every opportunity to find anything about that. But I already had a strong relationship with my kids. It's better now. It's much better than it was. And it was great before. Again, I've spent almost every moment of their lives in their presence because they were homeschooled and I was home. I'm fortunate to have more time than most dads will ever get a chance to have. That said, they're also growing up in the age of the internet, and they know I'm a YouTuber. Like, I see people all the time. They're like, oh, your kids are going to find out about this. Maybe at some point they'll find out some of the details. Sure. They know some of the details. They lived it. Like, they were there. They were the ones, they were in court with us sometimes. They know all of this stuff. Guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You know why? Because people struggling with a drug issue for a while is kind of common in this country. It happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of parents. It doesn't really mean much other than someone struggled with a drug issue. How they go forward is up to them, and that's a different thing. I've been, sober since April 15th was my last drink, and so just over 6 months now, and everything's been going fine. I go to whatever church I want to, whatever school I want to go to or whatever, and people just say hi and they're kind. No one's like this. No one's like y'all. No one thinks like this. And no one treats my kids poorly. In fact, it's funny because their classmates sometimes joke, like when drugs or whatever are mentioned in their school lessons, their classmates will look at them like, you know about that, right? Like they're ribbing each other because they're kids. And that's what they do. But you have to understand they're growing up in a different time than all of us did. Everything is different. Communication is different. The knowledge of other people's lives is different because we have so much more access and so much more connectivity. That's normal for them. That's native. For us, it's foreign. We're still trying to get used to it. And so we think, oh my God, people are going to see this. There will come a time in the very near future where every presidential candidate will have nudes out there. Every single one, because it'll become so ubiquitous with the rise of OnlyFans and the exchange of, and the tampering down of American prudity and the exchange of sexual images or nude images earlier on. Like, that is all becoming normalized for better or worse. Like, I'm not making a moral judgment on it, but needless to say, our children are growing up in the environment where that's normal, that these things aren't crazy to them. They're crazy to us because we grew up in a different time. And that, again, this is something though that Geno and Keanu cannot do. They lack the mental capacity to put themselves into any other place. They don't have empathy.
Yeah. Well, there you go. She's saying, basically, hold on, where's the one? She said something about this one. I have heard this explanation 550 million times, but it's not my place to try to defend. So if you want to respond, fine. If not, I'm going to hit play and keep it moving.
Go for it. Oh, wait, your kid tested positive for blow. I'm not a parent, but I consider that a problematic relationship, not a strong one. Yeah, only because she was holding and I didn't know. Like, good Lord. Come on, Keanu. I've beaten the thing to death on the kid testing positive thing. If you can't have this discussion with someone who doesn't understand how drug testing works. You can't have the discussion with someone who doesn't understand that despite allegedly having done a whole bunch of lines of cocaine with my 8-year-old, the state, who did not know that when they filed the child endangerment charges, that they learned after, still decided to drop the child endangerment charges and didn't file child abuse charges or anything. I was never even accused of this. So this idea that that's some issue that is between me and my daughter, like that there's some lingering thing, sweetheart, it didn't happen. And the first person who said, I want to retest, something's wrong here, was me. The first person who said, I want to solve the problem. I want to find the answer. I want to know why this test occurred, was me. The county told me no. And they said no with a smile. The investigator did. And you know why? It's because your gay boy Aaron lied to them about who I am. He had them convinced I was a literal cult leader, like a Charles Manson-esque cult leader, because they don't know me at all. So once that happened, they thought I was evil. They didn't need any help, but they got that test. They never accused me of it. They didn't allow us to fight it. And believe me, we were geared up for a fight.